Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Ivan Okuda and I'm back. I just picked up my Vektor bodyboard, custom. My first custom in over 20 years, guys. This board is a throwback to the days when we first started bodyboarding. It was the summer of '82. We had the first Tumberland Jam. Danny Kim was there and he took it. And then we heard about this Waikiki Walls contest. And so Danny took us. I don't know if Danny took us or the Acacios, man, but it was all the Tumberland boys. We all went down. Danny Kim, myself, my brother, the Acacios. I don't know who else was there. Probably Kermit Kyle. I don't know. But we all went over there and represented Tumberland. And I'm pretty sure a lot of us made the finals. And I'm sure Danny took first. But this is a throwback from '82. What do you think this board resembles most likely? And it was back then when this guy, Kisasaki, did the Mori ads. And he was the man to follow at that time, is to drop knee like him and to get the board that he did. And so one of our friends, I forgot who had the red edge. Oh, that's the word right there. This is the Mori Boogie red edge throwback, my friends. The color scheme is just like it, except for the orange could have been a little darker, but it's whatever's available. And that Waikiki Walls meet, I was drop kneeing on those rights and I was just whipping. I couldn't cut back or anything, but I saw the video and it looked pretty crazy. So that red edge board got me started on the drop knee lifestyle. It's just try and do that. Excuse me. So this is the board I got today, and I took it out to Over Rocks. It was a nice little 1 to 2 foot, super high tide. The rights were sick, and it's going to be even better tomorrow. And every day for 2 weeks, it's going to be good. About this board, one of the things I really like about this board is that the way it's custom is that this board, excuse me, is the Vektor Bud LTD. This is his drop knee shape. It's pretty parallel. It's a really interesting shape. I like it because it's not too round. But it does have a nice parallel. The wide point's pretty close to the middle. And it's 11.5-inch nose. It is 22 inches, 22 and a half inches wide on the wide point. And the tail, I don't even know where to measure the tail on this thing. Either from this point, the flat point, or these little points, but it's like 19 inches. And then down to here is like 17. But it has this crazy V, the cut tail, the Vektor Special, man. This is Ryan's, his Vertex board has these clipped tails. And from what I understand, and it makes a lot of sense, is that without this, with the basic rail, it's longer and it creates drag. And when you cut it, you shorten the rail, you have less drag. And because you're cutting this tail, you're gonna have more maneuverability. And which is proven because I rode this today with no vectors. I wanted to try it out without the vectors, and it was so loose, but I still held my edge. Surprisingly, I have the ability to hold my edge, but it was nice and loose. The cutbacks were nice, it slid well, and it held its edge good. Another thing is, you know, I've been riding a 2.5-inch board lately because I just felt like I should need more flotation. But apparently I've been in pretty good shape lately. I've been training and surfing a lot, and this board is just a basic 2 1/8 inch thickness, so it's your stock thickness board, and it has great flotation because it's a lot wider than what I'm used to. That I've been riding these narrow boards that I made for my son. So this board has perfect flotation right now. I'm easy to get onto the wave, get out there and paddle and everything. Another thing about this board is that I asked for is a hard bottom. So he's got the hard bottom. If you can tell the texture, it has the mesh. It has the mesh on the bottom. So it's polypropylene, mesh, hard bottom. But I also asked no stringers. There's no stringers on this board, man. Skip that stringers. I need some flex. And to balance out the fact that there's no stringers, to have added stiffness, I asked for mesh on the top. So there's mesh on the bottom, mesh on the top. This thing is sandwiched. How do we know this? Because when I plugged this, I peeled back the skin and it has a black mesh right below the skin. Well, I guess you can't see it, but it has the black mesh. So this board has crazy flex and stiffness at the same time. It's just a tad more flexible than with the stringers, because I had boards with stringers and those stringers don't flex. But this board, 0 stringers, double mesh, 2 1/8, and it has good flex. And it's just gonna get better. And I love the color scheme on the bottom. This blue and red looks sick, man. You know what this thing represents, reminds me of? Wine-eye colors! These are the colors I graduated with. Not that I represent Wine-eye, but I went to that high school. And anyway, so now let's talk about the Vektor system. What I would like to talk about here is that I asked for the versatile setup, so it's not dedicated to a goofy foot or a right foot. This is versatile. Any stance can use it. You just got to position the vectors properly. So I'm giving you guys the opportunity. If you see me, I'll let you try it. You just got to set up the vectors how your stance is, and so anybody can try it. So that was the purpose of this versatile setup. I would love for all of you guys to try out this board. Another thing too that you might notice is we have here some center fin setup. So this is so versatile that it could be just a twin fin, single fin, or a thruster setup. Now I know you guys are thinking, who even uses vectors? You know, that's a good question. You know, my school of thought was back then, yeah man, no vectors, no skags, let's just go finless and just be good and hold your edge. But you know, I've tried it out, and I have to say that vectors give you the confidence to go out there and not worry about sliding out. And so I really love the vectors. It helped me to have this confidence. So let's talk about the positives of vectors. We have the vector set up on the side here. You put one of these vectors on. I gotta loosen the screw. But if you put it up, you set it up, a 2-fin setup. This is one thing I noticed, is that with a 2-fin setup, you're gonna have great control. You'll be able to cut back and just hold that edge and hold that rail, nice roundhouse, and it becomes like a more arc, a more drawn out turns, kind of like a surfboard. And it feels really great to do this. And so I really like the way the Vektor setup is like this. Now, one of the things that some kid told me, because I wanted him to try it, he said, "Yeah, man, I can't use vectors. I want to slide. You gotta have slide, man. You can't drop knee, snap, and not slide. This is not the same." And I didn't really understand that until recently, when I did use a board that I let some kid try my board, and I tried his. His board didn't have vectors, so I did that bottom turn, and I did that snap, and it slid. Oh, it felt so good. It felt so good with that slide, and the spray, the fan, it just brought me back to the time when I used to do it in the 90s, I understand now the feeling of being skegless. And so, yeah, having vectors on the side, unless you're like Sean Watanabe, because Sean Watanabe, he's got power and grace, and he can make that tail slide. I mean, unless you're good like him, because he's at another level, and all those other pro riders that use vectors, but I'm not there yet, so I want that slide. So that's when I came up with the center fin. And the center fin, we're using this full-size Vektor, and you slide it in there, and I tried it out with my other board, and it has a combination of slide and with a combination of control. So now it's the perfect balance. And so now you have to think the versatility of this setup is this. If you're going out back door, which I'm never going to do, but if you go out back door and you want to hold your edge and have the confidence, set up some vectors on the rail, and you know you're just gonna fly down the line. Now, if you're gonna go off to like Chun's Reef, Makaha, or Quartz, waves that are a little bit more forgiving, but more ability to go top and bottom, bust out the single fin, bro. This single fin right here is it's just a pivot, right? This is a pivot point right here, And so you put it up higher, more loose. Put it more back, more control, but always gonna have that pivot. A nice tight top to bottom turns. Unlike the twin fin that you're gonna have drawn out turns. So that's the beauty of it. You can have your drawn out turns out at Vektor or out at wherever, Lonnie Kai's. I want to try go out there one day. I'm definitely going to use a twin fin setup, but my style is top to bottom, so I'm going to use this as a single fin. I don't know how a thruster would work, but we'll have to try that out. So we have here the single fin. I'm going to use this for 2 to 3 foot waves. I think this is going to be perfect. Reason being, I like this. Imagine you're going off the top and then half your board is out of the water. What if the Vektor is out of the water? There's your slide. And then when you get back into the wave, you start coming down the line, the skag will connect with the wave and have control. And then you'll be able to finish that move and go back around again. So that's the beauty of this single fin concept. And I'm gonna use this at 2 to 3 foot waves. And if it gets bigger, double head, 5 feet, Ryan busted out this. It's the mini keel Vektor fin. Look at this thing. This thing is it's so much larger than what I will be using. So this I recommend for anything double overhead, and it fits right into that slot. And whoa, look at this. I mean, it goes more deep, but I didn't unscrew it. But this is what I'm going to be using at 3 to 5 foot wherever I go. And I just can't wait to see that pivot. And it's interesting too how this Vektor has a little clip down here. Ryan says that he clipped this to actually add more pivot. And so you do have that drive. The base is pretty long, but you also have that clip just to add that little bit more pivot. So there you have it, man. This is my dream board right here. The colors are so retro, so back in the 80s. The flex is amazing on this. So it works, and the craftsmanship of this. You know, this is a triad board in conjunction with Vektor. And so I'd like to say thank you very much to Joy Vieira for allowing me to have this custom board made. I mean, he's the triad master, and he approved it. So thank you, Joy, for allowing me to have this custom board. I mean, no stringers, the Bud LTD, clip tail, the color scheme, double mesh, no stringers. This is full custom going on right here. And like I always said, I want a board that works day one. Day one. Today, I was out this little 2 foot over rocks, and it worked like a charm. And tomorrow, I'll be going out there again. It's probably gonna be 2 to 3. And you know, when it's 2 to 3, I'll be busting out my single fin design, baby. And then the next day, it's supposed to be 3 to 5, I'll be busting out the mini keel. Yeah. So we're gonna be doing this whole week, testing out this board. If any of you guys are out there, you see me, you wanna try it, feel free to try it out. And because the waves are gonna get big, folks, you gotta have a leash, man. And there's no better leash than Behemoth, the drop knee leash. Because who prones? You only prone if you can't get up, baby. That's my philosophy. So I rarely prone, or else I'll probably just go over the falls. Great thing about this leash is Behemoth 5.0. It's a limited edition, only 50 made. And then thanks to Curran, he hooked me up. So thank you, Curran. Another great thing about this leash is that the coils are tight. I've been out this past summer for some pretty big waves, and where this leash has gone through quite a bit of bails on some good sized waves where this leash is stretched out to the max, but always came back as brand new. The good thing too about this 5 foot leash is that when the board is way out there and you're stringing it back, this board, the leash is long enough so that it doesn't hit you in the head. And believe me, when you use Vektors, you don't want them to hit you in the head. So the 5 foot leash, tight coils, this product is just so awesome. And that I highly recommend all of you guys to look it up, Behemoth. They're also a great board sponsor. They support other bodyboarders. They support the contest. They're even putting out boards. And so this is a great opportunity for you to support a company that supports bodyboarders, and they supported me. So Behemoth is on, baby. And so to close off the show, I gotta put down this sticker, my friends. Behemoth. And let's see. I don't know when I'm ever gonna have a picture in the mag, but if I do, it'll probably be because I'm going off the top. And if I'm going off the top, I gotta make sure Karen gets represented right along Ryan and right along Joey. So we're gonna finish off this show by putting on this Behemoth crazy sticker. Oh. So hopefully we will be seeing this on YouTube or in the mag. Whoever has a water shot of me, they will be definitely seeing these products right here, my friends. Oh, there it is. It's official, folks. These are my sponsors. I actually ride for somebody. Well, anyway, folks, here it is. The Maury Boogie Red Edge Throwback. Up to date, ready to go. Oh, goodness. No stringers, perfect flex. The color combinations are sick. The versatility of the Vektor system right here. Videos soon to come. I'm gonna hire my son, $10 an hour to see how this board works. So I'm Ivan Okuda, and thanks for tuning in and checking it out. And no, I won't be customizing this board. This board is too pretty, my friends, and it works so well. All the other customized boards is just something that I like to do, is to experiment and to see what works and what doesn't. And why mess with perfection? Right here, baby. The Red Edge Throwback. I'm Ivan Okuda. Peace.